Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover?
My plan was to drive us away.
Well, your plan sucks.
I'm Bex from Enemy, and today I'm here with O-T Fagbenle, who is joining the Marvel Universe in Black Widow. O-T, could you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so Mason is kind of like the finder for Natasha Romanoff. You know, he's the guy who gets like like Q in Bond or whatever. Apart from, they've got a little bit of a chemistry. There's a bit of a kind of like connection between them. There's more going on.
Could you tell us a bit about where this fits into the wider MCU?
Probably not. But I can say that this, because obviously, spoiler alert, Black Widow dies. So this is set before then. It's kind of like a throwback, and you get to understand all of the history of Natasha and how she became Black Widow.
And what is it like to join the MCU?
Overwhelming. I mean, surreal is one of the main. It's a weird thing to happen in one's life.
Weird how?
Well, I mean, it's weird. It's weird. People talk about things and they email and they're on the social medias and people want to ask you questions all the time. And then you go to like events. I went to Comic-Con that were like, it was intense. I would never experience anything like that. And then you're going to work. Imagine you sitting at home now. You go to work, you turn around and your coworker is Scarlett Johansson. That's got to be weird, right? You're like, so that's me. I'm on set going, it's fucking Scarlett Johansson, like, and I'm supposed to act normal. That's expected of me, which I did. I would say as normal as I have, but it's surreal. That whole thing is surreal.
What was it like? Like all your scenes are with Scarlett Johansson. So what was she like?
She's really fun and she's got one of those. Yeah, I don't know if you ever met a person like this who's like, when they shine their light on you, it's like you're like, it's bright, so she's like one of those people. And that's not necessarily true of all like A-list people that I've met. Some people are quite unassuming in a way, and you're like, oh, is that what so-and-so? But with her, it's like she talks to you and you're like, boom, that's one way that she's like.
That must be really fun to work with. Yeah,
I'd say so. I mean, the main thing, the thing I love most about working with someone is if they're really competent. I love really good. And she's really good. So that's really exciting to work with, because you're both learning. I'm learning from her, but also challenging and just it's a really exciting process as a creative to be in that kind of space.
What did you learn from her? Did she give you any advice on how to make the most of being in the MCU?
No, but I think sometimes as an artist you learn through osmosis. Like I'm a musician, and like you can hear someone, and I guess there's a technical reason for someone doing something, but more it's a feeling you get, and watching her, I think particularly like in her close-ups and stuff, the way that she interacts with the camera and with you as the actor, I haven't got words to describe it, but you can see it on screen, and in person you're like, oh wow, you're actually doing that. That's not just like good lighting. You are really like doing that thing.
And as you said, bit of a spoiler alert, this is the first Black Widow standalone film, but it's the last one with Scarlett Johansson in it. What was that like as she approached like her final scenes? Was it emotional on set? What was the vibe?
She cried before every scene. I'm joking. No, I don't know. We were just making a movie. I don't know. I think like there's this thing of like what people perceive as the Marvel, and there's like going to work every day, and so she's got a kid and she's doing her own thing, and then this is her job, and she's great at her job, and she's passionate about her job. But I don't think it was like a big nostalgia fest.
What was your funniest or most memorable moment from filming this?
I don't know. It's a funny thing. I've been asked that a couple of times, and I feel like I should have taken myself away and really had to think and come up with something witty, some witty anecdote. And I don't have one, unfortunately. There are just so many moments that, my first scene, I'm sleeping before the scene starts, the characters. And so I would try and fall asleep before I would, to method it up like that. And so it is funny, like lying down and then suddenly getting kicked and looking up, and it's Natasha Romanoff looking at you. I mean, that's something I always remember, just being like, holy shit, that's Natasha Romanoff.
Lots of people have had it the other way around. They've been dreaming about Natasha Romanoff, and then they wake up and
right, yeah, exactly. They get kicked up, and it's their dog licking their foot or something like that.
You mentioned that your character is kind of like the Q. If this is a bit of a Bond story.
There actually used to be a Bond reference in the movie, which is taken out. I was sad. It was a funny joke.
What was it?
Well, there used to be a part where one of the things I brought her was a stack of Bond movies.
But now that you have this super spy experience, I mean, would you be up for being Bond?
I mean, I wouldn't fight it necessarily. It depends what the idea is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have anything against any character. I think Bond is fascinating. And also, I think what they've done with Bond, with Daniel Craig, is really good. Like, they've updated it. So for me, I would love to do it. But I do also want to know, like, what's the idea behind it? It can't just be like brown Bond. That can't just be the only idea. There has to be like, like we have to be like, what are we doing with it? But yeah, it's, I love England. I love English culture, and I'd definitely love to keep progressing that into the next generations, the next formulations of it.
I can see it, man. And when you Google you, the picture that comes up is you in a tuxedo. It's perfect.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for Googling me, Bex. I appreciate that.
And then obviously the MCU is so interconnected. Where would you personally like to see Rick Mason pop up next?
Oh, I just miss my buddy Florence, so I would just like let's me and Florence get it done. She can do all the action stuff. I'll help out.
I want to see a spin-off of these characters.
Yeah, well, you're not alone, Bex. So let's start the movement.
I feel like, would you be up for that? Like one of these Disney Plus series? It would be perfect. I want to see what else is he fixing all the time? A lot is the answer. Because don't forget, every time you see him, he's coming from somewhere. And each time I was like, well, I bet I'd speak about it with Eric and it'd be like, funny, like Eric had this idea that in the second time I meet that I should turn up in a tuxedo because I've just been coming from some like fancy ball or something. Unfortunately, that idea got nixed. But yeah, I think there's a lot of mileage in Mason. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, OT.
Good to see you again, Bex.